Hello friends, I welcome you all to my channel. Today I will take you through one of the most fascinating and full of learning startup journey. Yes, this is the journey of OpenAI startup. It began as an idea developed around a dinner table in San Francisco. They thought, what if a research lab dedicated itself to building a powerful AI tool that would benefit everyone, not just a company or a government? And what if it worked openly? In December 2015, that idea became OpenAI, a non-profit organization with a public mission and a promise to share research widely. The founders spoke about AI that could help humanity and adopt a non-profit structure. To clarify that, the ultimate goal was not quick profit but broad benefit. The first blog post sounded almost idealistic: publish, collaborate, and protect the public interest. But the idealism met the practical limits fast. Cutting edge AI is expensive. Talent, time, and most of all, computes. In 2019, OpenAI created an unusual capped profit structure with OpenAI LP so that it could raise large amount of capital to run the organization without abandoning the non-profit mission. Profits would be capped or earned for the investors. The non-profit would stay in charge of the mission. It was not a perfect compromise, but it was a workable framework for something that needed money, speed, and guardrails for protecting the core mission of OpenAI at the same time. With a framework in place, the company sought fuel to keep moving ahead. In 2019, 2021, and again in January 2023, Microsoft committed a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar partnership that made Azure the primary cloud for OpenAI's research and products. The deal gave OpenAI the compute it needed and gave Microsoft new engines for its own products. The partnership also sent a message that the tiny lab with a big mission had industrial grade backing. The major twist that made OpenAI a household name arrived in November 30, 2022, when they opened a conversational interface on the web and called it ChatGPT. It was a simple chat box which was the result of the years of research in construction following and human feedback. People discovered that they could ask for email drafts, a bedtime story, a code snippet, a tricky explanation, and get something useful in seconds. It was such a great product that it spread very quickly across the world through word of mouth, screenshots, and thousands of "you have to try this" messages. By November 2023, at the company's first developer conference, OpenAI disclosed officially that 100 million or 10 crore people were using ChatGPT every week. 2 million developers had built on the APIs, and over 92% of the Fortune 500 companies had tried the technology. The lab was now transforming into a platform. Under the cover, capability kept stepping forward. GPT-4 landed in March 2023 and moved the system from a curiosity to a daily aid to support the professionals. GPT-4 was able to read images as well as text and to perform the near human level. In May 2024, GPT-4o showed the next step. One model that understood text, image, and voice quickly and cheaply enough for everyday use. The direction was clear. The assistant should not just answer, it should see and speak also. OpenAI also broadened what product actually mean. It shipped ChatGPT Enterprise for big companies, GPT Team for smaller ones, and in January 2024 opened the GPT Store so that anyone could publish and share specialized versions of the assistant. A developer could build a contract reviewer GPT, a teacher could share a lesson planner, a designer could post a brand voice helper, and the best of these could find an audience inside ChatGPT itself. The idea was very simple. Let the community extend the assistant in directions wherein OpenAI would never have time to chase alone. The company's ambition stretched beyond chat. In 2024-25, it introduced Sora, a text-to-video model that hinted at an assistant moving from words to moving images, which was very useful for storyboards, education, or creative experiments. Sora was not a final destination so much as a signpost. AI would help people see and saw, not only say. Growth brought pressure with it. In November 2023, OpenAI suffered a very public governance crisis when its board abruptly removed CEO Sam Altman. Within days, employees and partners revolted. As a result, Altman returned. The board was reconstituted with Brett Taylor as chair and new directors, followed in March 2024 by Altman's formal reinstatement to the board after an outside review. The episode was messy, but it forced the organization to clarify how mission, safety, and speed and also accountability would coexist. In a way, the drama made the strategy clear or easy to understand. To move quickly on research and product while investing in governance strongly enough to handle the success. At the same time, the company tried to turn headlines about copyright into working relationships. In 2024, OpenAI signed content licensing deals with publishers including Financial Times and News Corp, adding attributed journalism to ChatGPT and creating a path to train on high-quality archives with permission and payment. Those deals did not end the debate, but they showed one way to balance invention and intellectual property at mass scale. Meanwhile, a December 2023 lawsuit by the New York Times over training data and model behavior continued through 2025. A reminder that the lawsuit is still catching up with the technology. By mid-2025, reporters noted that OpenAI's annualized revenue run rate had surged about $10 to 12 billion depending on the month and the outlet, driven by ChatGPT subscriptions, enterprise developments, and API usage. Whatever the precise figure, the arc was visible. A research lab had become a significant software business in less than 3 years, with high revenue to fund even bigger research bets. If you listen closely, you can hear the company's strategy inside the story. First, it lowers the time to value until the product feels like magic in seconds. That's what the ChatGPT launch did. Second, it tiers access, free for learning, plus for power users, team and enterprise for organizations, so usage can scale without collapsing under its own weight. Third, it turns a product into a platform. The API and GPT Store let outsiders extend the system and invent use case OpenAI won't think of. Fourth, it pushes the interface forward. With GPT-4o and Sora, the assistant is learning to look and listen, not just type. Fifth, it pays for content and invests in safety so that growth runs alongside legitimacy. None of this is a one-time trick. It's a loop the company runs over and over. The same plot also reveals a SWOT if you squint. The strengths are obvious: brand, distribution through a beloved assistant, and a research engine that keeps making the assistant more capable. With models like GPT-4 and 4o marking visible leaps, the weakness hides in the margins. Compute costs are heavy. Hallucinations can bruise trust, and running one assistant that is equally reliable for lawyer, a nurse, a coder, and a teenager is hard. The opportunity stretches wide. Capilots at work, voice first assistant on phones, deeper support for local language and domains, and new creative tools like Sora. The threats are equally wide: tougher regulations, copyright fights, and fierce competition from tech giants and open source communities. The company's answer so far has been to ship, listen, and patch faster, while publishing safety materials and opening up a red teaming and evaluations. The challenges sharpen the character. Accuracy is a daily battle. The system must learn to say, I don't know, as gracefully as it says, here is how. Safety is a process more than a promise. OpenAI now publishes system cards and evaluation notes and has committed at least one paper not to ship new models that cross certain risk thresholds without extra mitigations. Copyrights is a negotiation as much as a courtroom fight. The newer deals with publishers are the business side of the negotiations. Governance is a muscle. The 2023 crisis made the company build it faster. Each of these is a chapter that does not end, it just gets revised. The numbers help anchor the scene's changes. 2015, a non-profit lab is born to benefit all of humanity. 2019, the capped profit LP arrives to fund the mission. 2023, Microsoft renews a multi-year, multi-billion partnership. ChatGPT hits 100 million weekly users by November. GPT-4 ships in March 2024. GPT 4.0 brings faster multimodal response. GPT Store opens licensing deals with the FT and News Corp planned. 2025 revenue run rate headlines quote $10 to $12 billion, and Sora moves from demos towards users, and the assistant continues its slow shift from answer to actions. These facts are not the story by themselves, but they are its mile markers. If there is a simple lesson in all these for young entrepreneurs and business students, it is this: reduce friction until your product feels like relief. ChatGPT worked because it saved minutes of things people already needed to do: explain, summarize, draft, debug, and did it in a note that felt calm and useful. Second, build an on-ramp and a highway, a free tier that let the world learn, and a paid tiers that fund the mission. Third, platform beat products when your users have more imaginations than you do. Give them ways to build on your work. Fourth, earn trust as a feature, not as a press release. Safety, attribution, privacy, and licensing are now part of the user experience. Lastly, govern yourself while you grow. Moments of turmoil can harden an organization in the best way if it emerges with clearer rules and shared purpose. Now, picture the closing scene. A student in Indore lifts a phone to ask for help with a statistics problem. A nurse in Dublin dictates chart notes and asks for red flags. A founder in Sao Paulo sketches a product plan and asks for risks. A reporter in London asks for sources and extracts. None of them care about capped profit structure or GPU clusters. They care that assistant shows up on time, understand, and help them finish. OpenAI's story so far is the story of trying to make that help arrive faster each month while learning, sometimes the hard way, how to carry the weight of success. If the company can keep its promise to be both useful and responsible, the little non-profit that wanted to benefit the humanity will keep writing chapters where the hero is not the model, but the moment a human gets unstuck. Have you ever used ChatGPT? Please comment in the comment box. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share. See you in the next video.